Yes, I do have the Fast Saga on Blu-ray. I don't know if I should be proud of that or ashamed. Maybe a little bit of both. Some of them are fun. Obviously, they're dumb, but they're fun. Half of them, at least. This is not one of the fun ones. I'm wasting enough time already. This is going to be a long video. So, F9 is directed by Justin Lin, who previously directed Tokyo Drift, Fast and Furious 4, Fast 5, Fast and Furious 6. And the plot, yeah, there's actually a plot in this one. And in this one, Dominic Toretto, played by Vin Diesel, had a brother that we didn't know about for the last 20 years or whatever, played by John Cena. And they cross paths in their lives, and now John Cena is about to do something really horrible, and of course, Toretto and everyone involved has to stop him before something really bad happens. So, the Fast and Furious franchise, I remember really liking this franchise in high school, and I haven't really been interested in this franchise overall, to be honest. I wasn't really excited when this one was coming out. I will say that because now with the new release date, it's actually coming out on the 20th anniversary of the first Fast and Furious movie, so I'm surprised it didn't play that up a bit. Oh well, what can you do? And I was not really looking forward to this because it just looked the same. It just looked like every other Fast and Furious movies. Like, what can be done differently this time that you haven't already done? And they do a lot of things in this movie. A lot of things that you didn't expect, and at the same time, yeah, they were probably going to do that. They were just going to do that. And I'm just going to warn you right now, there will be spoilers in this review at some point, probably in most of my negatives. And there's a lot of negatives I didn't care for in this movie. So let's start with the stuff that I liked. A lot of the sequences in this movie are really cool. A lot of fun, like the opening one where it's like they're in the jungle and they're like, driving across landmines, and the bridge sequence where it's like the car is like hooked and it's like swings around. It's like, that was pretty cool. And yet somehow that is the most grounded thing in this movie. And that says a lot about this movie. They also do this thing with magnets throughout, which I thought was pretty cool. It was kind of fun. It was always kind of funny to see like what would happen with those magnets every time they use them. Also, I'm really glad this movie didn't give away a lot of surprises in the trailer. So it's like when I see the movie, it's like, oh, that's actually really interesting. Well, not as interesting, but more like, okay, you surprised me, movie. Thank you. I'm surprised that I'm surprised. So that's a good thing. Performances, for the most part, they're fine. They're they know what movie they're in. It's kind of hard to say. It's like, it's obviously the performances are not what you're looking for in this movie. But like, some of the performances are really good. I think the smaller the screen time, the better. And there's a lot of screen time in this movie. There's a lot of characters in this movie, unfortunately. Like, I liked Charlize Theron's villain. I always liked Charlize Theron. Helen Mirren briefly appears in this movie. Again, she was in a couple of the other ones. Vin Diesel, he tries to give a better performance than usual because of the subject matter. And none of the performances necessarily are bad. They're passable. It's like, again, this is not supposed to be a tour de force acting movie. So, for what they're trying to do, it's fine. It's not like it just blows you away by any means. You're here for the action. Well, you're here for the action for the most part. But as you'll see later on, it's not just about cars and magnets and stuff. Also, there's a lot of really interesting... also, I forgot one performance. Vinny Bennett, he plays a young Dominic Toretto in this movie. And I thought he was really good. I thought he definitely mimicked a lot of Vin Diesel, but kind of made it his own in a way. So I was like, is it weird that one of the better performances is someone who's like, not necessarily new to the franchise, but is essentially mimicking one of the main characters? I find that odd. Also, there's a lot of interesting callbacks to the franchise as a whole. Like, it goes back to the street racing roots. And there's also, like at one point, it goes in the past, like, not actually more than one point. But there's this one scene in the past, and Dominic's crew, and like you kind of see in the background, like some of the people that were supposed to be in his crew in the very first movie. It's like, okay, that's a nice callback. Okay, now I gotta get into the stuff I hated about this movie, and there's going to be some spoilers. So, let's talk about some of the other performances. John Cena, I didn't really care for him as a villain. I thought he was very stoic as a villain. Like, nothing about him screamed villain to me. I don't know why. Like, he's just very one note throughout the entire movie. It's just kind of boring. And he has a sidekick throughout this entire movie who's also very generic. He's so forgettable. I didn't even bother looking up his name. He was just so forgettable in this movie. Also, a lot of the jokes just fall flat. Like, really flat. They're just not that funny. Like, there's supposed to be this one funny subplot involving Tyrese Gibson. He thinks that because of all the stuff they survived in the past few movies, he thinks they're immortal. And it's not funny. Like, a lot of the jokes in this movie just fall flat. And it's never annoying by any means. It's just, you tried, you're clearly having a good time, but I'm not. Oh well. And the thing with this movie is that, unlike most of the other Fast and Furious movies, it takes itself too seriously. And I don't like that in a movie like this. I don't want it to take itself too seriously. Essentially, I was thinking during the movie, they're trying to make this like the Godfather 2 of the Fast and Furious saga. They have all these flashbacks from Dominic and from Dom and his brother and their childhood, and it works, I guess, but it's like, are you seriously trying to make this the Godfather 2 of the Fast and Furious saga? And it's like, for the moments that was supposed to be serious, I was laughing. For the moments that were supposed to be funny, I cringed. So, and also there's like way too many personal moments. Like, it feels like every character in this movie has to have like one serious moment, like one serious conversation with another character, and I'm just not interested. I'm just not interested. Also, like, again, like, the jokes where it's like, I was laughing more when it's like a serious moment or like a serious conversation, or at least trying to sound logical. Like, no, the funniest thing in this movie to me is, like, at one point, Ludacris and Tyrese Gibson, they're like about to do something for the final act, and Ludacris goes, well, if we apply the laws of physics, I'm like, the laws of physics. You've broken all of them. You've literally broken all of them. Did he not see the other movies? Oh, God, like, how? Oh, my God, it's so... It's not annoying like Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard was last weekend, but... oh, man, it's hilarious, like, when they say stupid things like that. Ugh. And I forgot to mention about performances as well. Like, sometimes it looks like they're bored. Like, it looks like you're having fun, but at the same time you're bored. Like, it's like, yeah, we're not really surprised that we're doing this at this point. They just look kind of like just sitting around, just like, this might as well happen. Car will swing like Tarzan. Might as well happen. And at other points are like, they're kind of cringing as well from some of the scenes that happen. Like, there was this one confrontational scene between Vin Diesel and John Cena, and it cuts to Jordana Brewster, who just looks like she's confused. Like, what is going on? Like, I don't even think she was in character. I think she was just thinking, what is going on here? I don't even know. Oh, God. And it's a movie that's... it's essentially a cartoon. Like, a lot of times when they just get hit in these movies, they move like cartoons. It looked, obviously CGI, obviously you shouldn't, like, use your actors like that. Obviously don't hurt your actors, but it looks so cartoonish. Like, you could have a sound effect when every time they got hit, and it should probably be just as effective as it was in the movie. It's just annoying. And it essentially becomes so cartoonish and so ridiculous that it honestly feels like it's a parody of a Fast and Furious movie. Like, not from the main series. It's like a parody of it. Like, okay, they actually go into space. People were joking about that for years. It's like, oh yeah, they're probably going to go into space at some point. It might as well happen. Well, it happened. They actually go into space. And I was laughing when that happened. Again, I'm laughing when it's supposed to be serious, and I'm cringing when it's supposed to be funny. Wrong. Just wrong. The laws of physics, man. Yeah, let's just go into space. Ugh. Meanwhile, again, the jokes fall flat. Like Fitman's Bodyguard, there was a moment where I knew a joke was coming. I went 3, 2, 1, joke. Not funny. Just stop. Also, this movie strangely references Paul Walker's character a lot through the entire movie. And obviously, Paul Walker tragically died. And his character just literally drove off into the sunset, and it worked. And throughout this entire movie, they keep referencing him, like, oh, don't worry about the kids, Brian's with them. And they keep referencing Brian throughout the entire movie. Like, it made sense, like, Dom's son is named Brian, that makes sense. But they keep mentioning Brian, like, he's still around, like, he still hangs out with everyone. And, spoiler at the end, he shows up. You don't actually see Brian, you don't see anyone playing him. His car just drives up to the driveway of Dom's house. It just feels odd. It just feels like, what was the point of that send-off then? At least it kind of made sense why, Jordana Brewster came back, because it's her brother and everything. But it just didn't work for me, honestly. It just... Oh well. So, and meanwhile, probably the last thing I didn't like about it is that this movie feels like it's the ending of the franchise, which is weird because apparently there's 2 more movies left. Like, literally, you went into space. What else can you do at this point? I feel like this was written to be like the last movie of the series, and then they were contractually obligated to make 2 more. It's like, what are you going to do next? Time travel? Dinosaurs? Oh god, they are going to do that, aren't they? Jeez. Oh no. Vin Diesel's going to find a dinosaur, isn't he? I said it, and now I'm just on this train. It's gonna happen in Fast 10. Don't do it. Just don't do it. So overall, F9 is, again, it's a movie that's a parody of the Fast and Furious series. It's so cartoonish, it's so outlandish, and yet it tries so hard to do all these things, like take itself too seriously. It throws in way too many subplots. Han is alive. It barely mattered. Oh well, nothing really matters in this movie other than just how ridiculous it is. And it's really ridiculous. And it, again, tries to take itself too seriously, even more seriously than a Fast and Furious movie should. And I don't know, I'm done. I'm just done with this franchise now. Oh man, this was it's in space. Like, what? So, overall, this movie kind of broke me. Overall, while some of the action scenes are fine, performances are fine, it's just, becomes so cartoonish and ridiculous that it's a parody. I can't stress that enough. It's a parody of the Fast and Furious series. So... I'm not going to be too mean on it. I'm not going to give it a very low rating, but I'll still give it 2 out of 4 stars. Stream it. It can be a good laugh. That's all I can really say. Oh no, I feel like I'm being too mean, but at the same time I'm not. I don't know. I really just don't know with this movie. So did you see F9? What is your favorite Fast and Furious movie, or least favorite? Comment down below, subscribe to the channel. This is Pat, and stay safe. Space? Seriously?